Well, hello YouTubers. Today I'm going to attempt to replace the factory couplers on the ScaleTrains SD40-2 rivet counter with the KD number 158. That's the medium shank whisker coupler with a scale head. I've already taken, see if you can see that, I've already taken the factory coupler out from the ScaleTrains locomotive, and I'm placing the locomotive in the cradle. And before I get started here, this isn't going to be a simple drop-in replacement. Normally it would be, but what I found out is if I take these couplers and lay them there for comparison purposes, what I found out is that the KD whisker coupler, when you drop that in, it binds in the draft gearbox. So I've got to do a little modification either to grinding out the gearbox, which I don't really want to do on this new locomotive, or what I'm going to actually opt to do is grind a little bit off the corners of the other end of the shank where it's actually rubbing. I don't know if you can see that, but where's my pointer? So if you can see, here's our whiskers on either side, and then here's the corner. The end of the shank is kind of it's kind of a pentagon, and there's a corner on each side. These corners are what are rubbing. They're just a little too wide for the gearbox. So I'm going to try grinding down the corners a little bit, just a hair, and I'm going to try to do so without damaging the whiskers. And I figure if I make a mistake, I'd much rather make a fatal mistake on a set of couplers that only cost a couple bucks versus making a mistake on a brand new locomotive. So that's why I'm not going to grind out the gearbox. Now, the reason that I'm replacing these couplers is the SD40-2 has a long frame. It's a 6-axle locomotive, and that set on tighter curves, it's got some significant swing on the couplers, and I've got a few cars that where the swing is just too great and there's not enough coupler swing such that the default couplers in this locomotive will actually pull the rail car off the track. Now, looking at the number 158 coupler compared to the default, you can see that they actually look identical in terms of the shank length. They're pretty close, but I want to try a medium shank coupler anyways, and maybe with the scale head or design of the coupler itself, we might be able to swing a little bit more. We'll see, or maybe the whiskers will provide a little more swing. I'm not sure. I don't know if this is going to work or not. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I can try a long shank, a medium set long shank coupler, but then if the shank is too long, it starts to look kind of weird on the locomotive. So I'm going to try the medium first, because I can always reuse these whisker couplers in something else. So I'm going to start by, I'm going to use my helping hands again, and what I'm going to do is use the helping hands to hold the coupler and bend the whiskers in while I just do a little bit of grinding. So hopefully you can kind of see that. And I'm going to use the Dremel tool, my motor tool, to grind that off. So I'll put my safety glasses, grab the Dremel tool, and see if this works. I don't know how much I have to take off. I think it's just a little bit. So I'm going to take off a little bit at a time and then try and kind of test fit it in the gearbox, draft gearbox. On this other arm I need out of the way. There we go. Hopefully you can see that alright. Still new at making YouTube videos, so alright, I'm going to go ahead and turn on the Dremel tool. Lowest speed. And we'll see what kind of damage we can do here. Okay, I can already see that this coupler is kind of moving around in the helping hand. It's not the grinding tool is pushing on it. So I think what we can do is let's hold it. We're going to hold it the flat way and then raise it up like that. You see that? There's the area where I need to grind off. See if this works. I'm gonna hold a little bit with my hand here. Okay, that already took off quite a bit. Not sure if you can see that, but I just ground off what would be what you're looking at as the left side. Bring it up close. Get a little focus. Okay, so now I'm going to do the other side. We'll see what happens here. Okay. So I've done both sides. Now, I'll grab the draft gearbox and I'll see if we're rubbing in there still. So there's a lot more play in there now from what I can tell. So I'm going to go ahead and put this gearbox inside the locomotive, I think, because that'll be the true test. And we'll see what we got. I'm going to get my Dremel out of the way. So I'll try to get the locomotive under the camera here. So what we need, this is camera and my laptop are kind of in the way here, but let's go put the gearbox in.
Hey Dad, do you think we could go ask the girls if they can play?
Yep, if Mom's done needing your help.
I think so. She's
Okay,
at
well, ask her.
the gas station.
Yeah, go ahead then. Alright, so the gearbox is, I believe it's in all the way. I really don't have great lighting here. Let's go ahead and put coupler in. Oh, I think I can already see this is a kind of a good fit. Well, this is going to be a little trick to get perhaps both the coupler and the top, or what would be the bottom of the gearbox, in at the same time. So I might have to edit some of this out, depending on how much time this takes me to actually accomplish. Or maybe it'll be easy, I don't know. Oh, that's not too bad. I think it's already in. Okay, the coupler is wrapped around the screw hole. Just need to get the rest of the plate in. Pocket cover, I guess is what you would call that. I just want to be real careful with this locomotive. There we go, I think that's in there right. Let's go ahead and put the screw in, or at least get it started so that it keeps the pocket cover from moving around. It keeps the coupler in place too. Hopefully everything just kind of falls into place in there. I've got all kinds of air hoses and MU hoses here. Yeah, that's just everything fell into place. And I can see that there's no catch anymore already. Make this taut, not overly tight. Oh, it's really tight, so I gotta back out a little bit. It's a little stiff. Alright. It's wiggling. It does look like it's catching on the one side just a little bit. Which for me is not a real big deal. Like if you push it over too hard, it's something in there is catching. I could probably open this back up and grind a little bit more, but I would rather, before I do any more grinding and work, I'd like to see if my swing problem is actually resolved. So I'm going to go ahead and stop this recording, run a test, and then we'll come right back. Alright, so this was not a success. The SD40-2 ScaleTrains Rivet Counter with the replacement KD number 158 medium shank center set scale knuckle coupler doesn't appear to provide any additional swing or extra swing compared to the default factory knuckle couplers that come from ScaleTrains, and I'll demonstrate what I'm talking about here. I'm going to bring back the SD40-2 with a hopper, back it around one of the problem areas, which is it's the inside diverging route of the turnout here. It's actually two Shinohara Walthers curve turnouts. I forget the number. These might be number 6s, or I don't remember what they are. I can post the details in the comments. But we're going to take the diverging route, and it's going to the front trucks of the hopper are going to jump off right about here. Throttle upside down and holding the camera and trying to keep it steady. There we go. Now pay attention to the front trucks of the hopper. I'll try and stay a little late. There it goes, it's jumping. It just jumped off. So we're on the ground. And I believe the same thing will happen if we pull out. I'll do an overhead camera view. We didn't jump off the tracks there. You can see there's quite a bit of swing there on the rear of the locomotive. So what I'm going to do at this point is I think I'm going to put the stock couplers back in. And perhaps I will I'll find out what the scale head metal whisker long center set shank coupler is and see what that looks like. See if it looks ridiculous, if it's too long, I don't know, but it doesn't hurt to try. Couplers are only a couple bucks. But thanks for tuning into this experiment. Not all my projects work. I'm going to go ahead and attempt another decoder install next. Take care.